In the small town of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, which is where I reside, we yesterday had an incident where police officers that don't live here, that aren't even police officers for this city, decided to just waltz in and murder someone. And this happened about 5 minutes away from me. It's literally down the street. And so, it's a little horrifying. I probably, to be honest with you, I probably heard the gunshots and because, come on, let's be honest. I hear gunshots all the time, right? So I probably heard them and then just didn't think much of it until I read the news later. So let's just read this. This is from USA Today, and I've got another article that will cover the protests, and then we'll get into my perspective of what was going on. So leaders and protesters in a grieving North Carolina, this is from USA Today, by the way, North Carolina community want to know what happened Wednesday morning when a deputy executing a search warrant shot and killed a black man. I'm still very much so not a fan of like what is the black man's name? I don't know. It's just the black man. Like, what? It's so ridiculous. District Attorney Andrew Womble has promised accurate answers and not so fast answers as state investigators probe why a Pasquotank County Sheriff's deputy fatally shot Andrew Brown Jr. at about 8:30 a.m. Wednesday in Elizabeth City. So again, a cop that isn't supposed to be here, that, shouldn't be here, executing a search warrant, not an arrest warrant, mind you. Not an arrest warrant. It's not like this guy's a dangerous thug and he's driving off to go, shoot up a school. No, it's a search warrant, right? And just wait until you find out what they're searching for. And they see him, to my understanding, and I spoke to some people that were there and saw what happened. They said that he was just driving, and the cops caught him as he was getting in his car and driving off, and he presumably may have known that they were there and thought he could outrun them. Oh well, that's not a death sentence. Or possibly didn't even know they were there, right? Because hey, it's 8:30 in the morning. Maybe, I don't know, some people have places to go at 8:30 in the goddamn fucking morning. You know what I mean? Maybe just so happens he's going to work. Maybe he's dropping his kid off at school. It's fucking 8:30 in the goddamn morning. If you're shooting people for getting inside of a car at 8:30 in the morning, I've got news for you. Chances are you're a dumb motherfucker. But crowds of people, dozens at the scene of the shooting, and later hundreds protesting in the city streets, are frustrated by the lack of details released so far. An eyewitness said Brown was shot at multiple times as he drove away. I also spoke to a witness that said that one of his children was in the car, and I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen that corroborated. Obviously, I don't know. But this is something, again, I was here, I spoke to people that actually, saw what happened. And someone told me that his 14-year-old child was in the car when the shooting occurred. But I don't have, I don't know what the details are on that. I do know that Andrew had 10 kids. And so that's, quite a lot of kids that are going to be without a father for the rest of their life. So that's definitely something that needs to be understood here. The people of Elizabeth City, they desire a right to know what took place this morning, Councilman Darius J. Horton said at an emergency meeting of the Elizabeth City City Council on Wednesday evening. Outside the meeting, a crowd gathered, some holding signs proclaiming Black Lives Matter. So, another thing is they also didn't let anyone inside of the emergency session for the City Council. We were gathering outside with the intention of going inside. And then they're like, we can't let you in. All right, I'll go into that when I cover the protest section. But there is a moment of hurt in Elizabeth City, Horton said. The municipality, located about 170 miles northeast of Raleigh, is home to about 18,000 people, some of whom, Horton said, felt police violence wouldn't happen in their community. Now, last year, and I want to give y'all some little, tertiary scoops. Last year, when George Floyd was murdered on international television, there was a demo here in my city, and the sheriff, Sheriff Wooten, showed up at this demo and decided to try to steal the stage and hop up on a little milk crate and talk about how nothing like this will ever happen here. This is a city that loves each other, and we love our people. We train our police well. This will never happen here, he told us. And then I remember thinking, why is everyone letting a cop speak at a fucking Black Lives Matter rally? And I said that to a couple people there. I was like, are we actually listening to a cop at a Black Lives Matter rally about police violence, right? And so, obviously, that was a bad idea. A lot of people put their guard down because of that. And you have to understand, cops are never your fucking friends. They're not your buddy. They're not, oh, wow, we used to go to high school together. I'm sorry. They are not the same person that you think they are. They are always scheming. They are always conniving. And they will lie to you at every single step of the process. Every single motherfucking step at the motherfucking process, they will lie. Lie, lie, lie. I'm sorry, your brother's a cop? Fuck him. Your friend's a cop? Fuck him. Your dad's a cop? Fuck him. Your sister's a cop? Fuck him. And fuck you for defending them, to be honest. So I just want to point that out. There is no such fucking thing as a good fucking cop. They don't exist. Right? So when a cop shows up at a protest and says, oh, this will never happen here, you know what that is? It's called a PR stunt. It's called, oh, I'm a sheriff who's an elected official and I want to get in the news for saying something cool. That's what that's called. He's not your friend. His fucking coworkers aren't your fucking friends. They're not your buddies. And if you think they are, they're playing you. They're fucking playing you for a fool. So I'm throwing that out there. Oh, fuck cops. All my homies hate cops. The investigative process, while necessary, is adding insult to injury. There is no investigative process here, right? There's body camera footage of them assassinating someone, right? Just release the footage. What is this process that needs to... Just release the goddamn footage. It's not that hard. You've got a video file. You can copy the video file an infinite amount of times. You've got a press outside that is willing to acquire that video file and then infinitely distribute it across the world. It's not that fucking hard. There is no process, an investigatory procedure. There is no motherfucking investigatory procedure, motherfucker. Show the goddamn video and tell us what the fuck happened, right? When I hear, oh, we gotta wait. What I hear is, oh, we gotta figure out what the fuck our story is, and we gotta figure out what the lie is that we're gonna tell the people of this city, right? That's what I hear when I hear, please wait. I hear, wait, we don't know what our story is yet, how are we gonna spin this? That's what I fucking hear, right? And so I just wanna say, everyone that showed up at the protest, sans a couple people, there were a couple, like, my best friend's a cop people that were trying to take energy out of the protest, but fortunately, like, the crowd did not really let them, like, take the energy out of the protest. But most of the people that showed up at this crowd did not like police and did not accept that as an answer. And I will, again, get into the protests later on after this. God knows what happened. God knows who did it. Wavy TV quotes Martha McCullen, Brown's aunt. Brown, who was known by neighbors as Drew, wasn't a violent person. Demetria Williams, a neighbor and witness, told the Associated Press. I didn't believe that officers really did that because he wasn't a threat to them. He was driving off, even though he was trying to get away, said Williams. And again, it's a search warrant. It's not an arrest warrant. What? It's a search warrant. Okay, go search the motherfucker's house. You don't need him there to execute a fucking search warrant. It's not an arrest warrant. You're not trying to track this motherfucker down. Go look in the house if you need to. Wait till he comes back. You don't need to go fucking assassinate someone in front of his goddamn children. Like, in broad daylight. I'm like, again, what the fuck were they thinking? But this is one of those situations where they are fucked. Like, there is no, like, this is fucked, right? So not only is someone coming in out of town, right, to go execute the search warrant for whatever reason, right? They end up killing someone in broad daylight in front of kids, right? They shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have even had their guns drawn. It's not an arrest warrant. It's not like they're in a fucking, like, you know, like a fucking Western standoff, right? It's fucking ridiculous, bro. The car skidded out of Brown's yard and eventually hit a tree, Williams said. Court records show Brown was 42 and had a history of drug charges. Who gives a fucking shit? So, okay, you're telling me someone smoked weed? Who gives a fuck? Like, seriously? And if I swear to God, if I see a motherfucking reporter at this protest at day 2, right? If I see any of these motherfuckers and I, like, you know, can figure out who wrote this goddamn article, I swear to fucking God, they're going to get a mouthful from fucking me for, he's got a history of drug charge. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Do you give a fuck? No, because no one gives a fuck. Anyway, here's a picture. Obviously, you know, little Easter egg. Look at that. Who's that? I wonder who that is. I wonder who that is. It's, you know, someone. Racial justice advocates hoped that this week's guilty verdict against Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd would soon lead to a larger systemic change, but in recent days, fatal police shootings in California, Ohio, and now North Carolina have instead drawn national attention. Among those who gathered at the scene of the shooting was Keith Rivers, president of the Pasquotank County chapter of the NAACP. When is it going to stop? We just got a verdict yesterday, Rivers said in a phone interview, referring to the guilty verdict against Chauvin. Is it open season now? At some point it has to stop. We have to start holding the people in charge accountable. Brown's grandmother, Lydia Brown, and his aunt, Clarissa Brown Gibson, told the Associated Press that they learned about his death through a TV news report. Both said they want the shooting thoroughly investigated. I am very upset. Andrew was a good person, Lydia Brown said. The deputy didn't have to shoot him like that. Councilman Gabriel Atkins stressed that Brown was shot by a county sheriff's deputy, not a member of the city's police force. Atkins said he was fearful he could become the next victim of police violence. Let's be real. When talking about transparency, I'm going to be transparent. I'm afraid as a black man walking around in this city, driving my car down the road. Imagine being a city councilman and being afraid of your own police force. I don't know. How about doing something about it? And yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there, right? Like, I don't know. Like, yes, is that a good speech? Yes, absolutely. But, like, let's be fucking real. You got to do something about that shit. And so, like, and this, you know, it's just ridiculous. So, I just wanted to cover that, and then I'm going to go into the actual protest, in another segment here. But again, absolutely ridiculous. And, whoever put that fucking bullshit in there about, oh, drug charge, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? The author, Joel Shannon, like, seriously? Seriously, that motherfucker needs to be named and shamed. As soon as you think, oh, this guy has done drugs, I'm sorry, man. Like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with a big fucking, like, device that you would fuck yourself with, because you're garbage. You're shit. You're a shit can of a human being. I'm sorry. I'm just having to put that out there. And I hope if you do watch this video, right, it's possible you will, right, that you realize that nobody gives a flying fuck if this motherfucker smoked weed. If you smoke a joint in fucking, you know, 1997, that doesn't make you a fucking, it's not a death sentence fucking 30 years later, motherfucker. I'm sorry. Like, shut the fuck up with that garbage. No one cares. It's not an additional detail. It's useless fucking shite. And it distracts from the point. So I just had to point that out there. But I'm in a USA Today article in a roundabout way. Look at that. See? Look, that's me. That's me right there. That's crazy. And I'll get into that in a sec here.